So now that we've practiced following the order of operations, we're going to move on to some more topics that involve following those order of operations. And the first one is called evaluating expressions. So I'm going to date the notes. Today is the 24th. So, an algebraic expression is an expression that contains one or more variables. To evaluate, substitute the variable with their given values. Then follow the order of operations. So remember, the word variable is just a letter we use to represent numbers. So x is very common as a variable. The word substitute means to plug in or replace. And an expression is when you're adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing terms together. So let's look at some examples. Let's say you're told to evaluate and you're given this expression: 7x plus 4y. Alright, and we're going to evaluate if x equals 5 and y equals negative 3. So when you evaluate an expression, you take the value for x and you plug it in for x and replace the x by substituting it. Same thing for the y. You plug in the y for the y. So this problem becomes 7 times 5 plus 4 times negative 3. So notice when I plugged my value in, I used parentheses, because remember, when you have a number next to a letter, this means you multiply. So it's 7 times whatever x is, and in this case we said x was 5. So 7 times 5 is 35. plus 4 times negative 3 is negative 12, because now I'm just doing the order of operations. And then 35 plus a negative 12 turns into be 23. So that's following the order of operations and evaluating an expression. Let's try another one. This time we're going to say if A equals 4 and B equals 7. And we're going to say evaluate this expression. 9a squared minus 2b squared. So I'm going to plug in 4 for A, 7 for B. So 9 times 4 squared minus 2 times 7 squared. Alright, so now be careful, because here's where mistakes can happen. Order of operations, remember, is PEMDAS. So when I see parentheses, parentheses mean I do something on the inside, but there's nothing on the inside that can be done here. These are single numbers. So I'm not following the parentheses first in this problem, because there's nothing to evaluate inside the parentheses. So the next thing I look at is exponents, and so I have exponents here on the 7 and on the 4. A common mistake that a lot of people will do is they'll try to multiply 9 times 4 and then take the square of that. That is incorrect. You have to do 4 squared and 7 squared, then you multiply, because exponents come before multiplication. So this stays 9 times 16 minus 2 times 49, because 4 squared is 4 times 4, and 7 squared is 49. So 9 times 16, that gives me 144. 2 times 49 is 98. And then if you're using a calculator, 144 minus 98 is 46. Let's try 2 more examples. Let's evaluate 4m squared plus 5m if m equals negative 2. So again, I'm going to plug in negative 2 for the m's, replace the m's with negative 2, put them in parentheses. So negative 2 squared, here's another common mistake. It's negative 2 times negative 2. So remember, a negative times a negative turns into a positive. So this becomes 4 times 4. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. So 4 times 4 is 16. Plus negative 10 or subtract 10, you should get 6. Alright. One more example. Let's say if x equals negative 3. And we're going to give you an expression that looks like this. X squared minus 3x plus 10. So I'm going to replace all of the x's with negative 3's and put them inside of parentheses. So here I've got negative 3 squared minus 3 times negative 3 plus 10. So order of operations tells me to do the exponent first. So negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. Minus 3 times negative 3 is positive 9 again, plus 10. And now I can just add my terms together. 9 plus 9 plus 10 is 28. So that's evaluating expressions. You have values that you plug in for the letters, and then make sure you follow the order of operations to complete the problem. So I'm going to let you try the problems tomorrow in class that practice evaluating expressions.